Amidst the spectacular futuristic cityscape, Qing Yi was ecstatic, exclaiming how amazing everything was. In her excitement, she added that if they only had some fried chicken, it would be even better. Lu Xing calmly gestured towards a nearby console, telling his sister that if she wanted something to eat, she just had to order it, as there were plenty of options available. As they watched the scenery, Lu Xing noticed that Snowy, who was standing behind him, seemed unwell, clutching her stomach with a pained expression. He turned to her with concern, placing a hand on her shoulder and asking what was wrong and if she was feeling sick. Blushing deeply, Snowy quickly dismissed his worry, assuring him that it was nothing and that she'd be fine in a moment. Lu Xing looked at her, and a thought crossed his mind. He realized that their passionate night together had been more intense than he thought, and she clearly hadn't fully recovered from it yet. Just then, a firework shot into the sky, signaling the official start of the competition. Qing's attention was immediately captured, and she shielded her eyes as she looked up, shouting with excitement that the tournament was about to begin. As fleets of spaceships flew overhead, an official explained that across the 12-star regions, there were tens of millions of level 10 warriors under the age of 1,000. Hearing this staggering number, Lu Xing quietly wondered to himself if that was considered a lot or a little in the grand scheme of things. As the tournament got underway, it was explained that the preliminary and semi-final rounds would last for several days, with the combat continuing without any breaks until the final round concluded. The matches were designed to be non-stop. As soon as one group of fighters finished, the next would begin immediately. This ensured the audience would never be bored, and a key safety feature was in place for the competitors. The fighters all wore semi-transparent combat glasses. These devices allowed them to get an approximate estimate of their opponent's combat power. If the power difference was too vast, the weaker fighter could simply surrender. If the gap was small, they would proceed with the battle, preventing unnecessary injuries and one-sided massacres. Watching this system in action, Lu Xing found it all a bit peculiar, wondering to himself if this was some kind of universal martial arts trend. After watching the preliminary fights for half a day, Lu Xing decided it was enough for the time being and took his family to get some lunch and rest. The martial saints, including Lin Zhenyu, were too engrossed in the spectacle and chose to stay behind. They were thrilled, exclaiming that watching a battle between level 10 warriors from across the universe was a rare opportunity. There was no time to rest, and they wished they had more eyes to take it all in. Lu Xing and his group arrived at a uniquely designed establishment called the Hunter's Restaurant, which was shaped like a giant pineapple with a door that looked like a slice of bread with a sausage for a handle. Intrigued, Qing Yi asked Lu Xing why the restaurant had such a strange name. It was then explained that the planet they were on was said to be filled with monsters that had transformed from delicious food. The martial arts practice on this world was primarily focused on hunting this delicious food as a way to achieve a higher level of culinary enjoyment. As a result, the martial arts masters of this planet were famously known as gourmet hunters, a fascinating piece of local culture for Lu Xing and his family to discover. With a cheerful attitude, Lu Xing announced it was time to go in, and his family eagerly followed. As they stepped through the entrance, they were immediately greeted by the restaurant staff with a loud, formal welcome for the immortal Count. An ID scanner at the door had automatically transmitted Lu Xing's high-status information, ensuring he and his party received the highest honors. The reception was so grand that even the owner of the restaurant, the well-dressed man with purple hair and pointed ears, personally came out from the kitchen to greet them. However, just as they were being led to their table, a hand suddenly pressed against Lu Xing's chest, stopping him. He looked down to see it was Bing Long, the blue-haired warrior who had challenged him earlier. She stood before him, blocking his path with a determined expression. Bing Long reminded Lu Xing that he had rejected her offer to spar the last time they met, She declared that this time he would have no excuse, her hand already gripping the hilt of her sword, ready for a fight. Seeing the tense confrontation, Lu Xing's family looked on with confusion and concern, wondering who this aggressive woman was. With a calm smile, Lu Xing turned to his family and reassured them that everything was fine, and that it was just someone he'd met earlier.
He knew. His expression then hardened as he turned back to Bing Long, his eyes glowing with a faint purple light. He sternly asked if she couldn't see that he was there to have a meal with his family. He then told her that if she truly wanted him to give her a beating, she should wait for him at the entrance, and he would meet her there after he finished eating. Bing Long was visibly taken aback by his direct and confident response. Before the situation could escalate, Liu Sheng's mother stepped forward with a warm and disarming smile. She asked her son if the woman was his friend, kindly suggesting that if she was welcome to join them for their meal. Disarmed and flustered by the unexpected kindness of Liu Sheng's mother, Bing Long bowed her head slightly, apologized for the interruption, and quickly retreated. Liu Sheng watched her walk away, a stern look on his face. Internally, he thought about how incredibly annoying she was. He had been trying to avoid fighting her out of respect for the officials who had brought him there, but he was quickly realizing that he wouldn't find any peace until he finally gave her the fight she so desperately wanted. With the confrontation over, the family settled in for their meal. The restaurant's service was as unique as its theme, with a variety of alien waiters moving gracefully through the elegant dining room to the sound of soft music. One of the waiters approached their table carrying a small, ornate chest. He opened it to reveal a bizarre fish-like bowl with large googly eyes that seemed to be alive. The waiter then carefully placed the peculiar, animated bowl on a plate in front of Liu Sheng. Suddenly, the bowl's outer rocky layer began to crack and crumble away. In a magical flourish, the exterior disintegrated completely, revealing a beautiful, ornate bowl filled with a steaming, delicious-looking soup adorned with edible flowers and sparkling with an otherworldly glow. The entire family gasped in unison, their faces filled with pure amazement at the spectacular culinary presentation. A wide, appreciative smile spread across Liu Sheng's face. He thought to himself that while the food at the Hunter's restaurant might not be the most conventionally delicious, it was without a doubt the freshest he had ever experienced. At that moment, he finally understood the true meaning of the restaurant's concept, marveling at the incredibly fresh and unique meal before them. The family enjoyed a massive feast, with the table completely covered in a wide variety of delicious-looking dishes. Liu Sheng's father was particularly impressed, exclaiming that the dozen plates they'd ordered had arrived in just a few minutes, calling it the fastest service in the world. As Liu Sheng took a bite of a large piece of fried chicken, he marveled at how freshly made everything tasted, so much so that he momentarily forgot to record a video for his social media, unlike his sister Cheng Yi, who was busy filming the meal. While eating, Liu Sheng's thoughts drifted back to his earlier encounter. Deciding he needed to know more, he discreetly used a holographic interface to look up information on Bing Long. What he found immediately caught his attention. The file revealed that Bing Long was a war orphan from a place called the Battlefield Planet. Reading further, Liu Sheng learned about her tragic past. She had no mother, no relatives, and no friends, having lived in complete solitude for over 900 years. Her only known hobbies were ascetic training and food. This information suddenly made her abrasive behavior make sense to him. He concluded that she was essentially a recluse with extremely low emotional intelligence, which explained why she had so persistently and inappropriately challenged him to a fight on 2 separate occasions. While he now understood her reasons, his patience was wearing thin. He resolved then and there that if she dared to challenge him in such a manner one more time, he wouldn't hold back. He would give her the sound beating she was so clearly asking for, a look of determined frustration on his face as he gripped his food tightly. This is the end of the video. If you want to see the next part, then don't forget to subscribe to our channel.